guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. This is my guy. He is 32 years old. He is a pilot, and he's writing in to share the story how an old flame from back in college has come back in his life. But here's the thing. This old flame isn't a very good flame. You're going to see that she had, well, let's just say she was up to no good more than a few times in their relationship. And even though she was a hottie, he eventually ended things with her. Well, now she's back. And there's a part of him thinking and hoping maybe she's changed. Maybe she's different. And I thought this would be a good one to go over here, guys, to show you how some guys can build an attachment to a gal, not see her for years, and still years later, he still has that attachment. And even though she's demonstrated she's not girlfriend material, not the best person, they still, because she's darn good looking and great body, they're looking for an opportunity to get a chance with her. Maybe it will change. And he's asking me, as you're going to see, my opinion on that whole thing. So I'm going to go through his story here. You're going to hear all about her and all that, and you can all chime in to give this guy a well-needed slap upside the head and dose of reality, as he does need. And by the way, guys, you can see I'm in a different mobile studio today. My regular car is in the shop today, so I got the other one. And this is a convertible, so I don't know how it's going to be sound-wise in terms of blocking shit out, because obviously convertible, you can hear cars going by. If the sirens go by, it's going to be loud as hell. So we'll see on YouTube just how this sounds. And if it works, you can let me know if you like me doing videos in this car. So we'll see. It says here, hello SSM. I need some advice, basically, because currently I'm feeling conflicted about an ex-girlfriend. Well, she's an ex, so you shouldn't feel convicted. If you watch me, you know darn well you shouldn't feel conflicted. I'm a long-time lurker on your channel, and I've seen stories similar to mine, but not exactly, so I'd like someone else's opinion. I'm a pilot by profession in his early 30s who decided to prioritize school and career in college over relationships, in no small part because of 2 failed relationships in my late teens and early 20s. Well, good. You should prioritize. You can have fun with the girls as long as you're safe about it, but the girl needs to be the lowest on the priority list. Your purpose is number 1. But it's important to get experience, gentlemen, because otherwise you get to your 30s and you're like, okay, I've gotten where I wanted to in life. Now I want to have a girlfriend, and you have no experience and you get walked all over. There's a balance, but purpose comes first. My first relationship ended when my high school girlfriend cheated on me with a friend when I was 18 years old. It was the summer after graduating high school, and it hurt me a lot because I'd given up scholarships at much larger schools to attend community college with her. Smack! You had scholarships to much bigger and better schools, and you gave them up to go to community college with her? Are you nuts? Man, nothing wrong with community college. It's a good way to save money, and a couple of years there, then go on to a 4-year, but you had scholarships, for goodness sake. She probably lost all respect for you when you did that. I'm not saying what she did was okay, but come on, man. This is what happens, guys, and I got to use this moment to interrupt with a teaching moment here. A lot of guys will have girlfriends that try to get them to spend less time at their hobby, less time with their friends, less time at the gym, and more time with them. And these guys do it thinking that's what she wants. And then they start noticing she starts drifting away. And eventually she breaks up with them. And they say, why? And she says, well, you changed. And they're like, what? That's what you said you wanted. Well, how many times does that happen? Girl says they want a guy to do something, he does it, and they get mad. They want you to be a fucking man who's a leader, does what he wants. You think a guy that has his shit together, a leader, a catch, would give up scholarships to go to community college with her, to follow her path? She's being the leader, not him. Right there, guys. You gotta do what's best for you. Let them follow you, not the other way around. Anyway. If you use this, don't smack me too hard because I was young and dumb. I smacked you anyway. You should no. I'm letting that shit go. I'd already accepted a basketball scholarship and enrolled, so I decided to honor that commitment. Okay, you went someplace else after that. Good. It says, I was at community college when I met this gal we will call Debbie. It was at orientation dance at the student union. I was hanging out with some of the bros from the team when this 5'10" blonde caught my eye and every other guy's attention. After much angst, I finally got the courage to talk to her. It was going well until the DJ played Single Ladies. Well, I have no idea what that means and whatever. Of course, the women wanted to do the Single Ladies dance. I'm watching and laughing a little until Debbie wants me to join her. There were a few dudes being dragged onto the dance floor to participate. My mind goes to the SNL skit with Justin Timberlake in a leotard. I told Debbie I was 6'5" and I wouldn't look good in a leotard. I'm definitely not going to dance a biscuit. She looked at me like I was the dumbest person on the planet and possibly on fire too. Obviously Debbie was not an SNL fan. I know, big red flag. Well, SNL, Saturday Night Live is hit or miss. I haven't watched it in years. It was either really funny or really stupid. And then when they started being all sensitive about anything being funny, and you know what I mean by that, that did it in my eyes. Long story short, I left and tried my best to avoid her around the campus. Okay, she didn't get your joke, so what? You're a 6'5" basketball player. There are other chicks on campus I'm sure would be more than willing to have you. In a heart, would be lining up for you. So who cares? So I see her at Kate's a couple weeks later, and she approaches me. Kate's was a local eatery famous for tacos. What kind of taco joint is named Kate's? That's the last thing I'd expect for a taco joint, but okay. Where the hell did you go to school? Man, do I love some tacos. I thought, oh great, here we go. Debbie was actually nice and said that she was able to watch an SNL skit and got it now. I eventually asked her out and she accepted and we started dating. Well, good for you for going for what you want, asking her out. And because she obviously liked you, she took the time to go on YouTube and look up this SNL skit because obviously she wanted to know. So that's a good sign, thus far. On our first date, I was nervous as hell and took her to a movie. Why'd you take her to a movie? You could have done something else. You sit in the dark and fucking watch a show and you don't get to talk and get to know each other. I think movie dates are the dumbest shit ever. I get it in high school when you got nothing else to do, but by college, I'm sure a 6'5" dude like you probably could have gotten someplace and gotten some beers and, you know, you sat in the back of the truck and talked, or I don't know what, but anyway, I have an issue with movie dates. Anyway, I was so nervous I accidentally took a left instead of a right and ended up in the women's bathroom right before the movie started. I thought where are the urinals, but brushed it off to probably a unisex. Way too many stalls for that, but my mind was on Debbie and how to hopefully impress her. Smack! So that's where you're going wrong here. How can I impress this girl? Dude, she likes you. She obviously, had no problem. You asked her out, boom, she's out on the date with you because she likes you. She took the time to look up a SNL skit to know what the hell you're talking about. She likes you. But guys waste so much time trying to impress girls and they end up doing more damage than they do something good. Let them impress you. Says here, where the hell was I? Well, anyhow, he says, I'm draining Pedro and hear all these female voices. Varsity Blues references there. I snap back to reality and realize, oh fuck, this is the women's bathroom. I duck and hide, and fortunately the movie was all starting, so after about 5 minutes, I was able to get out of the women's bathroom. Dude, many people, I've walked into women's bathrooms accidentally before. No big deal. They just giggle and you walk out. Jumping forward, everything was going great with Debbie. We were seeing each other most days and definitely on the weekend. Hang on here. When you say seeing each other most days and on the weekend, in terms like you're running into each other on campus, or you're actually spending quality time together all throughout the week and the weekends. In other words, dropping your bros, dropping your purpose to be with her. I'm not sure what you mean, but I'm going to guess probably you were spending too much time with her. That gives a woman certainty, thinking, oh, man, this guy really likes me. And I guess I can pull bullshit. Or you're around each other so much, the mystery's gone, she gets bored. But watch this. One night, out of the blue, after walking her to her dorm, she up and says that she couldn't see me anymore because it was midterms and she needed to focus on school. What a load of crap. A girl is not going to break up with a 6'5" dude from the basketball team, who obviously is a catch, just because, she has to study for midterms. No, it's one of two things. Either because she found some other guy she likes or she's cheating, or B, you spend so much time together that you're probably turning her off. She's getting bored. There's nothing new. There's no mystery here. She's feeling smothered. Or both. I was a little taken back, but I was like, okay, cool, and I left. Good. You redeemed yourself. You didn't cry, you didn't beg. So, okay, hey, you know what? Had a good time. I'll see you around. That's the way to handle it. I was pretty down about it, but life goes on. The next day, Debbie puts on a full court press to get me back. Oh, imagine that. After a bunch of messages from her and her minions, I agreed to talk to her. Debbie said she was stressed from midterms and asked me to forget about what she said, so of course, I went right back to her. Okay, smack me now. Yeah, smack. What's the problem with her, guys? I'm sure a lot of you guys know the problem here, aside from taking back a chick that dumped you. You just communicated to her that she can, just like that, toss you away like a piece of garbage, and she then reaches out to you and boom, you're back like a little puppy dog coming back to its master. Now in her mind she knows, consciously or subconsciously, oh, I can pull bullshit and treat this guy like he's nothing and he'll come running back to me. Do you think that'll make her have more respect for this dude or less respect? Think about this. Less respect. And what happens when a woman doesn't respect you? She ain't gonna love you and she treats you like shit. And you can expect more bullshit down the road. What you should have done, what I would have done in a situation, regardless of how good looking she was and how big her tits were, is I would have said, hey, you know what? Obviously you need a break up for a reason. So let's just see how things go. Maybe next semester, maybe we can give another shot. But in other words, you're not going back to her. You don't make it so easy. And when I say maybe next semester, you actually don't do that. And watch how she'd react. I bet you she'd been chasing after you, pursuing you like you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't be a dick about it. Just say, you know what, obviously you did that for a reason. Why don't you finish up your school? Maybe next semester we run into each other, see how things go. That's what I would have done. Or I certainly would have been like, no, you broke up with me the first time. I'm not going to go back to someone who just dumped me and then the next day wants me back. Probably the guy she really liked probably broke up with her. Or she fucked that guy, and he was done with her. Who knows? But I want to take her back. At the very least, maybe next semester, that type of thing. And gentlemen, you're going to see why he should have done that. So we resumed the relationship, and it was better than ever before the one-day breakup. I spent Thanksgiving and Christmas with her and her family. I ended up redshirting because of a knee injury, and that's why I was available. He says, yes, I saw her on New Year's Eve and day 2. Man, I was deep in the Debbie fog. Again, you're back to spending all your freaking time. I know you said you had a knee injury, so you couldn't play ball. But still, I'm sure you had other things in your life, my friend. Other than the 5'10" blonde, you had your bros. I'm sure there were some things you could have done. There were things you could have done in the gym. Okay, your knees busted. Fine, you can do your upper body. Where's hanging out with your bros, the gym, studying? That's why you're there. Instead, you're spending all your time with her. She realized this guy's all into the relationship. And what happens when guys are a sure thing in girls' eyes? What happens when a girl thinks a guy is too into them? Well, you're about to see. I asked Debbie to attend a high school basketball game at the hometown to watch my little brother play. She agreed, we went, and after the game we went to a party at a friend from high school, little place that he was renting. Everybody was back for the holidays and most were still on semester break. The party got crazy and I got separated from Debbie talking to some friends from high school. My cousin, who I will call Amy, always had my back growing up because we were so close in age. Amy walks up to me with a purpose and says, your girlfriend is in the kitchen kissing other guys. Other guys, huh? Not guy, as in singular, guys, plural. The same girl who he took back, who dumped him, and the next day wanted him to come back. He goes running back to her like a little puppy dog. Now she's in the kitchen making out with some other dudes. What'd I tell you about her not having respect for this guy? What'd I tell you about you don't take them back when they toss you away like a piece of garbage? And the only reason I said that, well, maybe next semester type of thing, is on the basis if he wanted to do that. But I wouldn't have done that anyway. Making out with other dudes. She's not girlfriend material, man. I knew there were a quarters game going on there, so I wondered what the fuck. I walked in to witness Debbie kissing my biggest high school rival. That makes it even worse, and I guarantee he did that on purpose. Asserting his dominance on you. I lost it, and after a lot of screaming and a few punches, I walked out with Amy and asked her to drive me back to my apartment in Dodge. Your cousin Amy sounds cool. Having that girl on your side, that could be useful. Did Amy punch her? That would have been cool to see. She agreed because I was way too drunk to drive. So Debbie comes running out and said it was a mistake. My rival Wayne made her kiss him. Yeah, sure. I was like, that was not forced, and got in the passenger seat of my car and we headed back to my apartment. Amy arranged en route for several people to follow us in her car. They asked, what about Debbie? And I said Wayne can take her home. Debbie was able to convince them to let her catch a ride with them. Of course she did. Dude, Debbie is not girlfriend material. She's a piece of trash. It's over. End of story. Wayne, your high school rival, did not force him. No. She did it because she wanted to. And we're going to get more into that in a moment. So we get there, and I'm just trying to sober up and process what had happened. Debbie arrives and wants to talk. She starts by explaining that she'd gotten very drunk playing quarters. Yes, bitch, that was obvious. Debbie said all the guys who made the quarter in the glass were making her drink. Really? So is what she's saying is that they restrained her and dumped booze down her throat. That they made her do it. Somehow I'm not buying that. Somehow she just did it because she wanted to be popular with the guys. You know that girl. That girl that's in the room. She's the only girl in the room and all the guys, and she's loving all the attention. You all know this girl. And wants to make them happy. Wants their validation. After several chug glasses, the guy knew she was getting very drunk and switched to, instead of chugging, she could kiss them. Debbie said she knew it was wrong, but all she could think about is how not to drink anymore. It was incredulous at this excuse. I was incredulous at this excuse and told her get up and walk away. Yeah, well, can't drink anymore, so I'll just have to kiss the guys. If she didn't want to drink anymore, she could have walked out. Trust me, when a girl's in danger, you know, this has been told to me by bouncer friends of mine and martial arts instructors and police officers that there ain't nothing more dangerous than a pissed off, scared, drunk girl. Because when guys fight when guys are drunk, and most guys don't know how to fight, they're like throwing these sloppy, ridiculous haymakers, and they're predictable. A woman that's scared and drunk fights like a cat. She'll bite, she'll scratch, she'll kick, she'll scream, claw your face. Believe me, if this girl was in danger, they would have been screaming and carrying on. No, she did what she wanted to do. We all know this. Come on here. The tears started, and of course, I fell for it and told her she could stay. Smack! Dude, I know this was younger you, and we all been there doing dumbass shit, but I can't let it go. The tears. Hobag Handbook Chapter 2. She knows there are enough tears, enough bullshit, you'll take her back. Here we go. You think she's going to be any different? So the next morning brought a whole different outlook. I look at her and see Wayne's tongue down her throat. I'm sure there were other things down her throat in the period of your relationship. I told Debbie I was done and I'd take her to the dorms. Classes were starting the week after, but Debbie had gotten an exemption for the break because she was working over the break. I went back to my apartment and I was very upset, but I knew I couldn't ever go back to her. Ever. Good. Good. It was tough to get through the spring semester and not go back to her, but I made it through. Good for you, man. I'm sure it was hard. You really liked her, or who you thought she was. And again, you're focused on that 5'10" blonde with the long legs and the great ass and the nice tits. But still, there are other 5'10" blondes and brunettes and redheads around campus that have great tits and ass. You're at that age in college. They're everywhere. And you're 6'5" on the basketball team. This should be, literally, you can do nothing and have them come flocking to you. But yeah, I know you had a thing for her, obviously. And that's hard, but good for you for getting through it. The first week after was pretty rough because she was constantly messaging me, as were her minions. Of course, because in her mind, bug you enough, you'll cave. Well, guess what? You could have blocked her and her minions, telling me how sorry she was, but it wasn't her fault and that she wasn't really cheating. Bullshit. I never went back to her that semester. During the summer, she sent me pictures and messages until I had to cut her off completely. Now, we all know darn well why you didn't cut her off, why you didn't block her or her minions. Because you just, in the back of your mind, was hoping that one day, somehow, some way, you get back together. She's changed. She'll apologize enough, and that means she's changed. No. Fast forward to 3 years. 3 years after this shit. And I run into her at a bar in another college town where I was attending. This is a big fucking country. You happen to run into her? I think she's been stalking you somehow. It was like seeing a ghost. A beautiful, tall, blonde ghost. See? He still has that attachment for her. She approached all happy and smiling and asked how I was. A little back and forth, and she asked to see me later. I stewed on it a little, and the wrong head made the decision. Dude, are you fucking nuts? Smack! If I knew that you could control yourself and literally just go back and bang her every which way to Sunday and then leave her and that'd be the end of it, that'd be one thing. But no, I know you have no self-control when it comes to... Well, no. You did break up with her and you were done with her, so I'll give you the credit where credit's due. But still, you have a weakness for her. That was a bad idea. Yep, I met her. Smack, smack, smack. She was actually visiting a friend and we hooked up at her place. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and thought, what are you doing? I got out of there and blocked her and ghosted her. Good. Okay. That could have ended very badly, you know. Suddenly she's pregnant. Suddenly she's pissed off that you blocked her and ghosted her. Next thing you know, well, the police are showing up at your house. Any number of things. But good, you were a playa and got rid of her. Until last week. After Debbie, I got serious about life and went to flight school after I took the LSATs. I thought there was enough bad lawyers in this country and declined interest in the law school, so I went to flight school instead. Well, there's no shortage of lawyers in this country. Flight school, that's cool. That's very awesome. So last week, I see this tall blonde with an ass and chest that made me think of my dad's favorite saying about how well put together the women are. The song, She's Built Like a Brick House. Oh my God, stop making her out to be the second coming. Okay, that's a terrible, not the second coming. The greatest thing since sliced bread in terms of ass and tits. She's now in her 30s, I want to point out. She's not as heavenly and angelic and Helen of Troy as she was 10, 15 years ago in her late teens and 20s. God damn this attachment to her. I always wondered what that meant, but I never forget it. I walk up, damn a ring on her. I walk up and damn, there's a ring on her finger. So I go to leave and she turns around and it's Debbie. She says, "Hey, how are you?" and hugs me. I'm like, "Good, you must be too. How's married life?" nodding to her ring. Debbie said she was getting divorced and wanted to see me. Of course this chick's getting divorced, because probably she's not a very good wife. And now she wants to see you. I told her I had a flight, but give me your number and I'll get back to you. Where the hell did you run into her? Were you stopping at Dunkin' Donuts to get a coffee before you head to the airport for a flight? Are you a commercial pilot? Do you do private jets? I mean, I want to know this here. It says, SSM, was I right to not take her back for kissing a bunch of guys at a party when she was drunk? Are you really asking me about this shit from back in college that you messed that up? Of course it was the right thing to do to not take her back. Also, I need some strength here. The red flags are all over the place, but I mean, she is built like a brick house. Smack! Dude, for God's sakes. Thanks for any advice on need to smack me. I don't really know if this is useful for your channel, but I'm a lot more interested in advice. Your fan, Kyle. Kyle, dude, are there no other girls? Okay, you're obviously a guy into blondes. I've always been into brunettes and chicks with black hair. Blondes have always been at the bottom of my list, frankly, but you like blondes. Fine. There's got to be other blondes where you live. Find one of them, fuck one of them. For God's sakes, dude. 15 years ago, whatever it was, she's proven she is not girlfriend material at all. Your kindness and your attachment to her, which she knew you had, led to her treatment of you. And also, that's just her character. Yes, it was the right thing to end it with her back in college after her making out with all the dudes and Wayne at the party and all that. You did the right thing back then. I know it was hard, but you did it. And I don't want you to think that maybe this was destiny that you ran into her at that college bar 3 years later and you banged her. And it's destiny again that you ran into her again. And it's destiny that she's happened to be getting a divorce now and the universe wants you to be together. Don't let that stupid ass movie shit go in your head. And all the guys watching this know that. No, you're not meant to be together. She is not a good person. You made the right decision. Stay the hell away from her. And if you like blondes, find a blonde. If you're not good at picking up blondes, get a hooker. I don't care what, but stay away from her. She can't be that bad at this point. She's down early. Okay, there are plenty of damn good-looking 30-somethings and 40-somethings, frankly, that look damn good for their age. But you can't tell me she's better looking than she was when she was 20. You know, come on here. I guarantee you that butt is sagging a little bit. I'm sure those legs aren't as tight. Those boobs are sagging. And I'm sure, you know, it's getting a little gray in certain parts, if you know what I mean. So, Block her, have nothing to do with her, and stop thinking about her. Move on. What is it about her 15 years later that you're still fixated on her? I mean, for God's sake, have you not gotten laid since then? I'm gonna guess probably you have. You're a 6'5" pilot. That's a pretty cool thing. I'm sure you can get girls. You're traveling all around the country or the world. You can probably have ass lined up in every goddamn city around the country if you play your cards right. So let this one go. God's sakes. So guys, there you go. Perfect example how guys can build up an attachment, and years later they still have it and make all these excuses trying to find ways to justify taking it back. People don't change. Why do you think she's getting divorced? I don't know why she's getting divorced, but I find it interesting, given her behavior in college, that probably she was up to no good. Cheaters don't change. End of story. So have nothing to do with her. And if you go pursue this and you write me in 6 months saying, yeah, SSM, I didn't listen to you, I'm not going to do your video. I'm not going to give you the time, because the guys here on this channel are going to kill me for doing that and giving you that chance. So don't fuck it up. So I'm doing this video here today. So guys, please comment below to this young guy. He's younger than me, but he's not super young. This 32-year-old pilot here. Let him know it's a mistake. Don't get involved with her. Turn that thing off in your brain that thinks it's a good idea, or the thing down in your other brain down south. And don't call her. Don't respond to her. Nothing like that. End of story. I sure as hell you didn't tell her where you live. Let him know that it's a mistake. And if he doesn't, well, he's gonna deal with what he has to deal with. Alright guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let him know what you think. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.